everybody. Welcome to another Super Sports Collection show. Oh, goodness gracious. I have a special guest on today's show. In the corner to my left, a former professional boxer who was a three-time world champion, world boxing champion. He was a world champion in 2 weight classes, having held the IBF Super Featherweight title twice between 1988 and 91, and the WBA Lightweight from 92 to 93. His name is Tony the Tiger Lopez, that legend in the boxing world. Welcome to the show, Tony. Great to have you.
Man, thank you very much. How you been?
Hey, I've been great. You realize we know each other for about, I don't know, what is it? You were on my radio show in the Western Caribbean. That had to be 20 something years ago.
Has it been that long already?
Yeah.
Man, you're getting old.
I know, man. You look pretty darn good, I'll tell you.
I think we're getting old.
Yeah. So, Tony, my first question, what were you doing down in the Western Caribbean visiting the island?
Well, I went a couple times, and I have a friend named Herb that lives over there, and went down to visit him and help I guess they wanted to get the boxing gym started over there. So I went down there to help them do that.
Gotcha.
That was one of the things I went down there for. And,
Gotcha.
just, it was a neat place. You know what? That was a neat island, dude. It really was. It was very interesting. It was a lot of fun. I had a good time.
It had a lot of potential. And
yeah,
as you know, I was the English-speaking TV and radio guy there. We didn't do TV when you were there. I don't think I was on TV yet, but I was the English TV and radio guy there for 9 years. And anytime I heard about somebody really cool on the island, I put the feelers out and I said, let's get them on the show. And that's exactly what we did with you. I want to talk about you a little bit more. Anyone following boxing in the 80s and the 90s knows Tony the Tiger Lopez. Tony, you're 5'7" tall, but the toughest 5'7" I've ever seen. You fought 59 times, and you've won 50 of those fights, 34 by knockout. You were undefeated your first 26 fights, and you fought some big-time boxers like Rocky Lockridge and Julio Cesar Chavez. And I'm really proud to have you on as a guest on my show again. You fought in places like Caesars Tahoe several times, and the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, and the Super Bowl Sun City in South Africa, and Arco Arena dozens of times. What a career you had. And what I would appreciate you doing is telling the folks a little bit about young Tony and how it was for you when you were growing up.
Well, my dad was a boxer. My dad got my brother into boxing because he was always getting beat up at school. And so my dad got tired of him, took him to the gym, got him a trainer and said, hey, teach this guy how to fight. And actually, he started fighting. He was fighting before me. I think he started when he was like 12 or 13, 14, something like that. And I started when I was 10. I started fighting because I was always fighting anyway already. I was street fighting anyways. I was just always out there. And then my brother was just getting beat up all the time. So now here's the difference between me and my brother. My brother is a very, 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 very talented boxer. I am not a talented boxer. I'm a fighter. And there's a difference. I couldn't box because it's too much work and I don't want to work that hard. But if you stand in front of me, I'll swing and I'll be the last. We can swing for 20, 30 minutes and I'll be the last one swinging. I don't care. That's what I like. That's where you get the boxers and the fighters. That's where they differ. You know, boxers want to move around, don't want to get hit as much. I really didn't care about getting hit as long as I could hit you back, you know. And but I've been like that my whole life, you know. And just one day I came home and nobody wanted me to turn pro or nothing. They really didn't. My family didn't want me to turn pro at all because I was always in the streets goofing off and getting fights and getting in trouble. I was always doing something stupid. And then I came home one day and told my family, guess what I did today? And they all go, like, what'd you do now? Like, well, I turned pro in boxing. And the first thing ever out of everybody, especially my mom, first she goes, Tony, you didn't. And I go, yeah, I did. And then you know, the family started, you know, arguing about me, about what I'm gonna do, and now what am I gonna do, and who's gonna manage me, and this and that. And so my dad said, you know, and I don't blame my family, because you have to understand, my family was really real. That's why I'm like I am. I'm a real person. I don't play. I don't lie. I ain't got to lie to kick it. I just do what I do, right? And because they just tell like it is. And so, you know, they start telling me, you know, you're gonna get beat up. These guys are serious. They're doing it for real. You just screw around too much, you know, blah 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 blah. And I go, hey man, ain't nobody kicking my butt. Ain't nobody kicking my butt. That's just me. And they're going, okay, man, you're gonna. These guys are professionals. They do it for a living. Blah blah blah. And I go, yeah, whatever. You know. So my dad goes, okay, let's get him a fight. So they got me a trainer. I was training with my brother, whatever his trainer was, Will Edgerton. So he started training me, and then I was on my brother's first one of his 10-round cards that he was the main eventer of. And then, you know, my first fight, I'm coming out, I'm getting ready in my dressing room, and everybody, you know, and I get it because I'm a goof off. I never do anything. I never take anything serious. I never have. I still really don't. And then, but that's just me. But if I do something, if I tell you I'm going to do something, I do it. I don't play. You know, I may goof off at times, but I'm working hard, trust and believe, you know? And so every time I was training, you know, between the rounds, between the rounds, I was working hard. And when you get that minute rest, it's my time to play. I've done that throughout my whole training since I was 10. I did it through title fights. I did it in Vegas. I did it in Lake Tahoe. When I was training, you know, I train hard, and when the bell rings, I start talking to the fans and the people that are watching. We just have a good time. I mean, I didn't look at it as a real job. I looked at it as something that I like doing. You know, I enjoyed fighting. I don't mind getting hit as long as I can hit you back. And that's I've always been that way. And that's just, I guess that's just how I'm bred. I'm wired, I guess, you know. And then and over time, you know, I won my first fight. Obviously, I went out and knocked a guy out in the first round. I come back to the dressing room. Remember, I come back to the dressing room. My brother goes, "Hey man," he goes, "You know, man, you got lucky, dude." He goes, "Man, you got lucky." He goes, "It ain't gonna always be like that." And then I told my brother, I remember telling him, I looked at him straight and I go, "Dude," I go, "that's how I do it. I get in there, I knock folks out, and I get out." I go, "That's going to be me." And he just shook his head. He's like, "Man, you're nuts," you know. And I go, you know, in actuality, you know, if you look at that first loss I have, that first loss was by disqualification. You know, I fought a guy named Ramon Rico, and I hit him. I hit him with the right hand. He went down. He went down to his knee. He went down to one knee. But you know, your eyes and your body is so fine tuned in that at that moment when because you train so hard and you tune your body to a different level. I mean, watch. The best way to explain this is today I'm an average Joe. Okay, I work out. I still work out almost every day, but you know, not like before. So I'm a little bit better shape than the average person. But when you're in boxing shape, you know, when you want to fight, you know, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 rounds, that conditioning takes your body to a totally different level. You learn things about your body that you never knew of, that you would have known if you didn't do that to your body. You know, so you know your body like a fine tooth comb. I promise you, when I weighed 130, I can tell you Hey, Tony, how much you? I weigh 130 today. You know, if you weigh 135, hey man, I gotta lose some weight. I'm winning 135. I'm not gonna do it. I gotta work hard. You know, my big thing was I walked around at 160 all the time. That was my normal weight. And I'd lose 30 pounds for every fight.
Wow.
And so, oh yeah, and I've been doing that for years, since 1983. And actually, in actuality, I did it even as an amateur. So I've been doing it for years before that. And then I guess I don't know, 10 years ago, some other fighter, they found that some other professional fighter did it, and they said you couldn't do that anymore. They changed the rules. I'm going, why? Makes no sense. Look, if I'm going to work hard enough to lose the weight, don't deny me something. It's my body. If I want to deny my body to make a weight that's beyond my means, but I make it, and then I can maintain a good fight for 12 rounds, leave me alone. I'm doing what I'm doing. That's the way I do it. I may walk in the ring at 160, which I actually walked in at 159 and 3/4. Every fight, every single fight of my professional career, I walked in at 159 and 3/4.
Even though you weighed in at 135?
No, I weighed in at 130 when I started. Yes, sir. I would gain 29 and 3/4 pounds overnight.
Oh,
Not even overnight. Because I would stop, because we fought back then. We fought at the Memoriatorium, for your preliminaries, and the fight started at 7, and I didn't eat for 4 hours prior. I was done eating 4 hours prior to the fight. So less than 24 hours, I would gain 29 and 3/4 pounds. But that was my normal weight. It was easy for me. Most of that was liquid, obviously. I didn't stuff my face. And then I was hungry when I walked into the ring. But that's how we did it back then. And I'm thinking, I've always done it my whole boxing career, my amateur career. That's the way I've always done it. I never knew any way else. And then I guess after, when I was fighting title fights, as I got older, it started getting harder to make weight. So then I had to get a dietitianist, and then he taught me how to eat, how to eat and how to lose the weight the right way. And it was a lot easier, I tell you that much. And if I would have known that years prior, I'd have been doing it that way, but I didn't. So, and it worked out. I mean, I'm a 3-time world champion, so it must have worked out.
So Tony, lead me through the first 30 fights. I mean, you didn't lose until you at your 51st fight, you lost 3 in a row. And tell me about that time. What was going on with you? What was your body doing? Tell me what was going on with you.
You know what, man? You're the first person I ever asked that. And you know what? There is a reason why I lost them 3 fights in a row, and that was because of me. I lost in 3 fights because of me, not because of nothing I did or couldn't do. It's because at that time in my career, everybody was going, "You're getting older. You're doing this. You're doing." I'm like, man, get out of my face with that. You know what I mean? I don't care. I still feel young. I still feel good. And I don't know, man. Everybody want to start taking control of my life. At my boxing life, and it started ticking me off. So I don't know. I remember one time I wanted to train in one place, and everybody else going, "No, you gotta go. You gotta go." I'm thinking, shoot, I'm the one fighting. I'm the one making decisions here. When I stop fighting, the party's over. But you have your managers, you have your trainers, you have this and that, and all the kinds of everybody in your ear. And I go, okay, screw it, let's just go. It got to the point where I told my trainer one time, when I fought Freddie Pendleton in New York, I told him, I go, hey man, I'm not gonna let him stop me, but I'm not gonna really try to beat him. I go, I didn't want to train here. I wanted to train where I wanted to train, and you guys took me away from that. I go, I know what I needed to do. I know how to lose the weight. I know exactly what I need to do, and I didn't get it. I go, it's BS. I go, I'm the one fighting. It should be my way. And he goes, come on, Tony. He goes, You got to. I go, no, man. I go. I'm serious. I'm telling you how it went down, and I'm going, no, man. I go, like I said, I'm not going to try to win, but I'm not going to let him knock me out. And don't take that from Freddie Pendleton, because that boy, he's good. Don't let his record fool you. That fool can fight. And he caught me with a hell. I never saw it. I never saw what he caught me. I think it was a straight right, but I honestly I never saw it. I got dropped. It didn't hurt. I got dropped. I started kind of laughing when I was on the floor. I kind of chuckled. I thought, this is kind of embarrassing. I get up. He knocks me down again the same round. 3 rounds in a row, he knocks me down twice each round. And I'm going, after the 6th time he knocked me down, I get up and I'm pissed. I'm going, this is BS. I go to my corner and I told my brother, I go, what is this fool hit me with? I don't see it. I go, he goes, I don't know. I can't see it either. A lot of help you are. You know what I mean? And so I go, I remember going out the next round and I just went to war. I thought, screw this. Either I'm getting knocked out or he's knocking me out. We're going to war. The bell rang. We went to war. I think I dropped him in the 4th or 5th round. And then I think in the 8th round, it was they stopped the fight because I got hit. Actually, I'll tell you honestly how it really happened, because I remember like it was yesterday. He was throwing a right hook, but it was kind of wide, and I seen it coming, so I was getting ready to bob under it. But I half-assed bobbed. I didn't bob all the way under it. So when he swung, he caught me on the backside of my head, and it pulled me forward, right? And I went stumbling a little bit forward. I just stumbled because it kind of pushed me forward. It didn't hurt. It just kind of pushed me off balance. And then the referee comes over and stops the fight. I'm going, what'd you do that for? And I never argue. I'm not that guy. I don't want to be that guy arguing with the referee and everybody else in the ring. Because once they stop the fight, nothing I'm going to do is going to change their mind.
Right.
It is. And taking nothing from Pendleton at all. He's a great fighter, and he's always been a great fighter. He's just had bad management in his first part of his career. That was the problem. It wasn't his fighting; it was his management. And that's one of the fights I would like to do a do-over. Besides the Chavez fight, but I don't know. It was just one of those fights, But it was a good fight, though, man. It was good. It was.
I want to ask you more about the Chavez fight, but kind of proof of what you're saying. And I had no idea that after you lost those 3 fights, you won 6 in a row.
Yeah. Don't ask me why either. Oh, probably no, because things started going my way. That's why. Watch. Here's how it is. If you're a manager out there, you're a promoter, or not a promoter, but you're a manager, you're a trainer. Hey, dude, watch this. There are some fighters. When I train hard. I don't play. I may be acting like I'm BSing in the gym because I'm talking, I'm having fun. Because why? Because I like what I'm doing. I'm working hard. I'm working my butt off. But I like what I'm doing, so I'm happy. It's just when a fighter's happy, let him train. Let him train the way he wants to. It may not be the way that the trainer wants you to train, but I mean, if because the trainer knows his fighter, he knows he's gonna be he's full of it, or he works hard, or somewhere in between. The trainer knows. Now, the trainers that I had, man, they should have known I don't play. I mean, I've had some tough fights. Guess what? Have you ever really? I mean, you get tired after the 3rd or 4th round. You're tired. But did you ever see me stop punching? No. Why? Because I train hard. You know what I mean? And that's really what it's all about. Train hard. If you're a fighter out there and you're listening to this, hey man, if you go out and you train real hard, you go, man, I'm tired. I train real hard. Well, guess what? Go back and train even harder. If you want to win. If you want to win a world title, that's what you have to do. Don't move around. You know, everybody, every in today's boxing, everybody wants to make the big money, but nobody wants to get hit. Guess what? You're a fighter. You're going to get hit. You're going to get hit, and you're going to get it really freaking hard. Get used to it, or get it over with and get out. You know, that's really what it's all about. But it's changed so much. It's not like that anymore. You know, boxers get in there and they want to make big money, and then they want to pick and choose who they want to fight. They started coming out with catch weights and all this other stuff. Man, look, if you can't make a weight, move up. You know, but don't start making these putting title fights on for instead of 160, we'll do 162 or 163. What the hell is that? That's not even a weight division, you know? So I don't know, man. They started that years ago, and it's just never changed. It's getting worse and worse. You know, it's getting. I don't know, man. For me, I'm glad I fought the eras that I fought. You know, that was the last year because I retired in '99. I think 2 or 3 years after I retired, they started paying my division $1 million, $3 to $5 million a fight. You know, shit, I would have took three if I had 15 world title fights, pay me $3 million a fight. I'm not mad. You know what I mean? That's $45 million. I'm not mad. But you know, I was before that, and so but I didn't do bad. I'm still doing okay. I own a plumbing company. I'm doing my thing. Hey, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
You sound great, Tony. I want to ask you a couple of other things. You mentioned Julio Cesar Chavez, and I think he was probably the most highlighted guy that you fought. Tell me about your approach to that and how the fight went for you, and did he surprise you?
Chavez is just a man. This is the way I looked at it from day one till today. He's just a man. If he gets hit and cut, he's gonna hurt just like me. He's no one special. He's no one. Man, we're all made the same way. Some little, some I mean, you know, we're all different in some ways. But as fighters, man, do what you do. You know what I mean? So for my mistake with Chavez is when I went to Mexico, I told everybody I'm going to box for 10 rounds and I'm knocking him out in the last 2. I should have never said that because in the 10th round, they stopped it over a small cut over a 2-stitch cut on my eye. They never let me go. They never let me do what I went to do. And that's what upsets me. To this day, that's the biggest upset of my career in my mind for me as a fighter, you know? So I don't know. No, man, that fool fought me. I didn't fight him. Who's Chavez? He's a man just like me, you know? Never hurt me, never bothered me. I don't think he hit any harder than anybody else I fought.
Who's the guy that hurt you?
Oh, dude. Okay. Back then, every time you lose a title fight, you had to have a tune-up before you get another title fight, right? And there was this kid, somewhere in my record, he had like, I don't remember his record. It was like 23, 25, and 11 losses, which is crappy, right? Which is a crappy record. Back then it was. And so they said, but they go, hey, Tony, you're going to fight this guy? Okay. All right. You know, I never asked what his record are. I never asked. And I didn't learn about that until after the fight. And then, so, you know, I'm getting shape. I'm doing what I'm doing. It's a 10-round fight. It's a tune-up. They say it's a tune-up. The bell rings for the first round. This guy hits me in my right shoulder with a left hook. And he's the only guy in my career to make me go, oh, crap. This boy can hit. In my head, I remember saying that during the fight. And so, but see, okay, so here's the difference between a fighter and a boxer. A fighter, me, when I got hit, I thought to myself, I better jump on his ass or I'm going to get knocked out. So what I do, I started pressing it and took it to war. I think we went to war for like 6 or 7 rounds. I think I knocked him out in the 6th or 7th round. And then later on, I found out he has a ton of knockouts and 11 losses, but I think most of his wins were by knockout. I go, hey, that's kind of something big you should have told me. You know what I mean? You should have told me that before the fight started. You know, it would have helped me out a little bit, you know. But and I don't remember his name. He's the guy, he was a Mexican guy from Mexico. You know, and it was after a title fight that I had lost.
So you're a man who comes back, you know, after you won the 6 more fights. Then you were up for the WBO, the NABO light welterweight title. And what was your thoughts about that one?
You know, I was already at the end of my career, and I knew they were going to try to give me a bunch of young guys, because at the time I still had a good name in boxing, and I was the guy to beat because I had a good name for these young guys, you know. And so, in actuality, man, look, I know that they thought that guy was going to beat me, is what they thought. But you know, I went out. I think I knocked him out like in the 6th, 7th, I don't know, something like that, 6th or 7th round. So, and you know, I approached that fight like any other fight. It's just another fight, no big deal. And then I went down to Palm Springs for my last fight, and then and you know what, the guy beat me, and that's when I retired, because they wanted to give me all these 20-year-old fighters. I'm 30, almost 36 years old now, you know, and they're giving me all these 20-year-olds to fight, you know, 22, 23, and I'm going, that's the ones we want to stay away from. This fight a journeyman, you know what I mean? And they're going, okay, well, you know, just this one more. They want you to fight this one more, and I'm going, okay. And then a week, no, 9 days before the fight, they wanted me to go to Palm Springs to go train, and I was training in Auburn, California, by above Sacramento, where I live at. And I'm going, no, I don't want to go. I go, you know, I'm old. They know I'm old. They're not going to do anything for us. They're going to try to get me beat. I go, that's all they're doing. I go, let's stay here. I'm on weight. Everything's working out. I got great sparring here. I'm doing great. And they kept bugging, bugging and calling. So about, I think 8 days. They might have started bugging about 10 or 11 days. And I think about the 8th or 9th day prior to the fight, everybody was in my ear, and I go, okay, let's just go. Let's go. So we fly down to Palm Springs. We fly to LA, and I'm being serious. We land about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We're there waiting for my driver. You know, because every time you fight out of town, they have to have your driver, gym. They have to supply you with everything you need to train. And so we land about 3 p.m. Approximately about 1 or 2 a.m., we decide to take a damn cab and go to Palm Springs, which is still an hour and a half away. And I'm going, this is ridiculous. I said, okay, let's go back to Sacramento so we can start training. I go, this is how it's going to be. I know it. Let's go back. No. We have to stay here. We're already here. It'll change. Well, from that day, let me tell you something. From that first day till I'm talking to you today, right now, to this day, for that fight, I never seen a boxing gym. I never seen my driver.
Whoa.
You know what I trained at? I trained at 24-hour fitness in Palm Springs. And all I could do was jump rope and hit mitts. That's all I did. It's kind of like, yeah, I've had guys that whip my butt, you know, and that's okay. I can't win them all. You know, I tell you what, but he didn't whip my butt without a fight, you know? It's just the ones that got away with it when it wasn't really me, you know? There was something going on. That's kind of, to this day, they bug me, you know? But hey, it's water under the bridge now, but it still bugs me.
That day that you retired, now I talked to football players and baseball players, and these guys, hockey players, they play in front of 15,000 people, screaming, yelling at them. I even had on George the Animal Steele on one of my shows, and I asked him what it was like to walk down the pathway of Boston Garden with 20,000 people screaming. So what's it like when you don't have that anymore for you?
Honestly, man, I don't. That's not the part I miss. The part I miss was the actual fight. You know, the day I retired, I was good with it. You never see me when I retired after that last fight, I was done, and to this day, I'm good. I'm happy. I'm not. I have no regrets. There's nothing I need to prove. You know, I can still fight. I still think I can still fight. But there's nothing for me to prove. Did it all. I did everything I needed to do. I have no problems with it.
Here's some questions from a pedestrian, from a fan. Uh, were there guys that you hated and really couldn't wait to whip their butts? Were there guys that you really liked and wasn't 100% into whipping their butts? Is there such a thing?
No, but there is such a thing of having a guy that you don't like. There was a guy I didn't like. The guy from New York, the Harlem Butcher. The Harlem Butcher. He didn't want to fight me in Sacramento. I don't know why. So we went what, an hour and a half east to Lake Tahoe. Big deal. And I don't know. He was just kind of an asshole, And I don't know. I wanted to fight him at the press conference, and that's not me. I'm not that guy. I'm that guy that, hey, look, I'll be friendly with you. I don't care. You can talk all the smack you want. Just don't get too personal, and I don't care. But because when the bell rings, it's time to start throwing punches, buddy, and I'll take them. That's my attitude. But that day with him, he's just got under my, I don't know, he's just got under my nerves. So I ended up knocking him out like the 5th or 6th round or something like that too.
And have you stayed friends with any of the guys over the years?
I do talk to. I try to talk to some of them. Some of them talk to you for a little while, and then they stop talking to you. I don't know. I would talk to anybody. I don't care. Win, lose, or draw. Hey, man, it was fun. Hey, we made money, fool. Don't be mad. We made money. I mean, it's a job. I don't hate nobody when I fight them. I don't dislike them. That Jorge Paez, who talked a lot of smack, I liked him. As a matter of fact, when I fought him, he talked smack. That was his thing. He's a smack talker, and that's what it's all about. It's about selling tickets. And let him do his job. He didn't talk bad about me. He just said how he's going to beat me, how he's going to do this, and how he's going to do. That's okay. Don't say nothing about Don't say nothing about my mom. Don't say talk about my mom. I'll just slap you like a little girl right now. You know what I mean? Don't take it personal. Don't get personal, and do your job. And that's what he did. It wasn't personal. I liked him. He was good. He was a good dude. He talked a little smack, but that's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to sell tickets. So do what you do.
Talking about personal, tell me about your life now. I know you're married. Tell me a little bit about that.
I've been married going on 25 years here coming up.
Wow.
And I have 2 daughters. One daughter I raised. She's 29. She was born 95, so however old she is. She just had a baby last year. The baby's 13 months old, 14 months old right now.
Wow.
And then I got a surprise a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, that I had another daughter out there that I never knew about. I never knew it. And, we talk now. She has a kid, I'm a grandpa twice. It's fun. It's cool. I have no complaints. I used to write I used to be a bail bonds agent. I owned a bail bonds agency. And that was a really good, really, really good business. That made money. And then, after the economy crashed back in the day, it never recovered after that. And so to me, it wasn't worth it anymore. You know what I mean? It's not worth the chasing. I used to love to chase people. When you get a skip, oh, that was fun. Oh my God. That was a blast. it was scary sometimes, and you get yourself in some predicaments, and you end up in some really bad places. But at the time, everybody knew who I was, you know, and I used to tell people all the time, I say, hey, look, I'll fight. If you want to fight, I'll fight. I'll take it all off right now. We'll fight. I don't care, you know. And so funny, I never got in a fist fight at all. I never bounty hunting. I never once got in a fist fight. And I chased big guys, little guys, fat guys, skinny guys, you name it. I chased. If you jump bail, I'm chasing you. I don't care. In state, out of state, other countries. I've been everywhere.
Wow.
And it was a very interesting job. Although it's changed a lot now because the laws has changed. So I just closed it because it doesn't work. It's not worth anything anymore. So I closed it.
And I remember when we spoke on the phone a little bit that, you're still getting calls about boxing, not fighting, but about boxing. And you still have interest. And maybe, like I told you that I'm working with young kids. I'm a teacher. I'm getting them off the computer a little bit and getting them interested in trading cards and trading sports memorabilia.
Like myself, I have a lot of memorabilia from other athletes, other places, other things. And I never started collecting until the end of my career. And then now you'll be surprised. I mean, I'm surprised at what I have. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of people that come out of the boxing business. They can barely talk. They're injured here and they're injured there. You seem to have gotten away from not having the major injuries.
Man, you're right. And I've talked to a few fighters from my era, and some of them haven't had half the fights I've had, and they can't say 2 words. I actually did a study at the Brain Institute in Las Vegas for a while, for 7 years. And they were doing athletes like football players and stuff like that, MMA fighters and this and that. And they said, for as much fighting as I've done and for as long as I've done, they said, man, you seem to be fully intact. They said the only thing missing that we don't want to see too much is that your memory's slipping a little bit faster than we like to see. He goes, other than that, you're either at or above for your age and what you went through. He goes, man, we don't know why. He goes, they did find out that I had an extra thick skull. They said my skull was that of a very large man.
Wow.
They said, we don't know if that's the reason why you're so intact. He goes, because your brain doesn't move as much, because your bone thickness is so thick. They said that their MRI machine could not penetrate my head. That they had to take me to somewhere else, but I never went because they stopped calling me. And I don't know what happened to it, so it just went away.
I knew that to be a good fighter, you couldn't be afraid of getting hit, and that's what I hear from you. If these guys are afraid of getting hit, that's not going to be good for them.
If they're afraid to get hit, they should go play tic-tac-toe or something. You know what I mean? Yeah, for us, it's like being a football player. But I'm afraid to get hit. Well, then don't play football. Go play tic-tac-toes. Watch. In the boxing world, I sometimes I train fighters. Not very often because I don't like it, but I'm actually really good at it. And I am. Let's say I've had, since I retired, I've had this, let's say, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 fighters. Out of 50 fighters, let's say I had 100 fights. You know how many losses I have out of 100 fights? 1. Because the kid didn't want to listen to me. He wouldn't listen to me. He wanted to do his own fight, and he lost. And he lost by a really close margin. It was a split decision. It was a really close fight. It was crazy. And now the kid's fighting pro in Guatemala. He's a pro fighter in Guatemala now.
Tony,
yeah.
This has been fantastic.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you.
We had such a good time in my radio studio 20 years ago. I never forgot you. We just, we got along. You were such a great guy. You're easy to talk to. Like you said, you're no games. you know, you are who you are, and I never forgot you, and I'm so thrilled that you accepted my invitation to do a show with me here. When I send you the show, you'll see that my Zoom background is a boxing ring.
Oh, right on. Am I in the boxing ring now?
Still doing it, man. You're still doing it. You're the
Atta boy.
best. Tony the Tiger Lopez. God bless you, Tony. I hope we
Thank
stay
you.
in touch one way or another. I know you're going to be on the move. You're going to be moving back east. And I'd love to keep track of you and see how things are going.
Man, I hope you do, brother. Let's get together sometime real soon.
I would love that. God bless.
Me too.
Thanks again for
Thank you.
doing the show.
Thank
Bye-bye,
you, brother.
everybody. Thanks for being with us.